Ronnie, and I'm in Sept-Îles, Quebec, Canada. It's already, what time is it? It's already 7 o'clock in the evening, and as you may know, that Canada is located in the northern hemisphere, so the sun is still up, but it's gonna set in about 2 hours from now. So I've been here in Canada for almost 2 years. Well, actually, more than 2 years now. I arrived March 2016 in Montreal, and then I stayed in Montreal for roughly 6 months before I moved to Quebec City. So yeah, and if you may not already know that Quebec is bilingual. Well, the whole Canada is a bilingual country, but here in the province of Quebec, it's actually fully bilingual if you compare it to the rest of Canada, which is more anglophone. So yeah, what are my biggest struggles when I arrived here in Canada? I'd say that when I decided to move in Quebec City, which is by the way a fully francophone, or I'd say like predominantly, where there were still English people but I'd say it's a fully francophone city. Um, the biggest struggles that I really faced was the language, because here in Quebec, their official language, well, though they are bilingual, they still consider their official language as French. So at that time, could not communicate really, really well in French, though I already had my French training in the Philippines before I came here in Canada. And had a couple of months of like part-time schooling, and when I was still in Montreal, it was still not sufficient for me to communicate with the locals. So yeah, that was like one of the biggest struggles, like the language and integrating myself in the culture in Quebec. So also when I was in Quebec, I also started my integration for the nursing profession, which by the way was in French. So I had a very well, I kind of had a difficult time in going through the integration process because of the language, but still I was able to receive help from the school, from my teachers, from my classmates, and I was able to meet like a few friends in Quebec City, Filipino friends, which also in like helped me moral support and encouraging me to finish my studies. So next question would be, what motivated you to make the move? So first things first, I came here in Canada to succeed. And one thing that I want to succeed in would be in the nursing profession, because I am a graduate. I'm a registered nurse in the Philippines, and I wanted to succeed in that field here in Canada. So that's one reason, one of the biggest reasons why I moved to Quebec City to learn the language, because all of the regulated professions here in Quebec, um, you must be able to communicate in French. So I think it helped me a lot moving to a fully francophone city, to improve my French. And right now, I'm able to communicate well. I'm able to communicate in French, especially with my colleagues at work. And right now, I'm in Sept-Îles, so everything's in French. And yeah, the motivation to succeed in the nursing profession was actually a big thing for me to take the risk in going to a to in going to an unfamiliar place with a language that I was not so comfortable with, and dealing with new types of people. I was an immigrant. At school, I was the only well, in the class, I was the only Asian. So yeah, that was really, really I had a bit of a struggle there, but still, I was still motivated to finish the class and finish my studies and continue. And one question is that how did I know that I made the right decision? Well, it wasn't just a decision, but I'd say it was a choice. It was my choice to move here in in Setzil. Right now, if well, I've already mentioned that I'm already in Setzil. I found a job here in Setzil as a nurse. Since I already finished my studies, I already took the board exams, and luckily I passed. I also took the French exams, and luckily I passed. So I have a full nursing permit to practice as a nurse here in the province of Quebec. And right now I'm in Setzil because they just need a lot of nurses here, and there's a big opportunity if you have a if you finish a the your nursing degree and you have a nursing permit plus. So it's like the hiring process is really fast, and there's a lot of opportunities really waiting for you here in Quebec, but you really need to work on it because um, the language is always there. The French language is really important to the Quebec society because just that's just a big part of their culture and their society, and they're trying to keep and preserve the French culture. And just I just feel it in my guts right now. All the things that happened to me, all the struggles that I faced when I was still during my first year here in Quebec, with my struggles with the language, with my struggles with interacting with the people, with the struggles in school, at work, how to meet ends, how to just to survive, and just to do everything for me to be able to succeed. I just feel it in my guts right now that I may not have succeed, like I may have not attained the success that I want, but I'm already getting there. Since right now I just started, it's my first week at work here in Setzil. Well, actually, it's my first week in Setzil. I arrived last week Saturday, and I'm currently working. I'm hired as a staff nurse in the regional hospital. So I'm currently in orientation. I'm currently in training in the Setil Hospital. And yeah, that's just it. You just have to you just have to make the move. You have to make a choice. You have to take risks, because if you don't take risks, nothing's going to happen to you. So that's just it. That's the story of my life for my 2 years here in Canada. So, if in case that you decide to come here in Quebec, there's a lot of opportunities, there's a lot of things to do here. Not just in Montreal alone. Definitely you can survive in Montreal because you can definitely survive without French. But if you want to succeed here in Quebec, you have to try to integrate yourself in the French culture, especially in the French language, because that's one of the key for you to succeed here in the province. So I invite all of you to come here in Quebec, come here in Sept-Îles, because there's just a lot of opportunities waiting for you here. So I'm gonna say it in French. In French, je vous invite de venir here. My God, je vous invite de venir ici à cette île parce qu'il y a plein de choses à faire, puis qu'il y a une grande opportunité pour vous de réussir dans la profession infirmière. Merci beaucoup, and just have a great night. Bye bye.